Hello, this is Elder Garry M with another installment of Moments in the House of Mercy. As you know, we're doing a series on that passage of scripture that's found in 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7, that says in the New Living Translation, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power and of love and of self-discipline." The King James translation says it this way: "For God hath not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." Today we're going to talk about the second issue or element which God gives to us in response to fear, and that is power. Power is a strange thing. You see, there's an old saying that says, "Those whom God would destroy, he first makes drunk with the wine of power." So power is a tricky thing. I want to commentary this particular passage of scripture and that particular issue of power with another passage of scripture that is found in the New Testament book of 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 7. From the New Living Translation, this is what it says: "We now have this light shining in our hearts, but we ourselves are fragile clay jars containing this great treasure. This makes it clear that our great power is from God and not from ourselves." The King James translation says it this way: "But we have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellency of the power may be of God and not of us." It's important for us to understand that God has given to his people power, but that power is not power that originates in us. It is power that is given to us by God. And that power is really tied to the truth about who Jesus Christ is and about the ultimate value, benefit, and result of the work of Christ, the finished work of Christ in the lives of all believers. If you go to that passage of scripture that is found in 2 Corinthians, what you'll find is right after that particular passage of scripture about the issue of power that has been deposited in us, we will find that we are pressed on every side. We are hunted. We are slaughtered. And the scripture goes on to say, we get knocked down, but we get back up again. You see, the reality is that God places this power within us, this light and power that demonstrates the resilience, the ability of his people to overcome the circumstances that we will have to encounter in life. If you remember, I said in the previous installment, as we were addressing the same passage of scripture, that fear is cast out by love, that love casteth out all fear. And because fear addresses the issue of torment or suffering and punishment. But if you understand that anything that we endure as believers is not God punishing us, it is just the realities of human life in a world that is infected by sin and depravity. We're all going to suffer, but God has insulated his people with a spirit of love and power, and that power gives us the ability to rebound against the things that buffet us. Jesus said it this way. He says, "The person who listens to my teaching and obeys them is like a wise man who builds his house on a rock, so that when the rain comes in torrents and the floodwaters rise and the winds beat against that house, it will not fall." But he then gives this warning, this admonition. He says, "The person who will not obey my words is like a man who built his house on sand, so that when the rain falls and the floodwaters rise and the wind beats against that house, great shall be the crash and the fall thereof." You see, the reality is that we are all going to endure the rain and torrents. We're going to endure the floodwaters that rise. We're going to endure the winds that beat against our house. And the only difference is going to be the love and the power that God has placed in us that allows us to weather the storms of life. Being saved does not mean being saved from the storms. It means being saved and secure and having peace that passes all understanding in the storm. God is faithful in all things, and we must believe that. And in that faith and understanding, we find power because we are loved. I'm Garry Spots, the pastor of Bethesda Missionary Baptist Church, and I'm so glad you joined me today for this installment of Moments in the House of Mercy. I hope it was helpful to you today. Please join us again, and please visit our website. I'm getting this out of order. Please visit our website. It's going to show up right here. And then share these installments with your friends, your family members, anyone that you feel would be benefited by listening, hearing these issues addressed by Scripture. And I'm so grateful for anything that you do to share the message of Moments in the House of Mercy. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you again as we come back and wrap up the issues in this particular passage of Scripture, 1 Timothy chapter 1, verse, I'm sorry, 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. We're going to talk about self-discipline, and then we're going to do a fourth one that wraps it all together with a neat little bow. I'm Elder Garry M. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful and blessed day. God bless you.
All about you, Jesus. I'm sorry, Lord, for the thing I've